morning. This is Southerntimes on EveAfrique News from the depths of the Niger Delta. I am Omotola Agbelusi. In the headlines, Governor Wike reiterates commitment to peace development of rural areas. Fake American military officer bags 2 years in jail for internet fraud in Port Harcourt. Ada Ekpeye calls for remediation from SPDC on farmland following fire outbreak from pipelines. Niger Delta University matriculates first postgraduate students. Governor Diri orders probe into killing of Bayelsa youths. In a special report, Helen Prest Ajayi appointed non-executive director, Bank Nevis International Trust Services Limited Bonates. The news continues right after now. Stay with us. Welcome back. The news in details. Rivers State Governor Barrister Nyesom Wike has reiterated his administration's commitment to ensure the sustenance of peace and development of rural communities as part of efforts to strengthen the security and development of the state. Speaking during a consultative meeting between stakeholders of Ekporo community of Eleme local government area and their neighbors Ogu community in Ogubolo local government area, Governor Wike says he is elated about the continued peace and receptive attitude of both communities to foster the resettlement of displaced members of Ekporo community of Eleme local government area. Representing the governor, the secretary to the state governor, Dr. Tammy Danagogo, observes that the consultative meeting was scheduled as a follow-up to strengthen the peace, unravel great concern, and ensure the mutual understanding of both communities that were involved in the crisis that evacuated Ekporo people from their community 8 years ago, emphasizing that the governor's desire to fast-track the development and resettle Ekporo people in a united and peaceful atmosphere is unnegotiable. Justice E.A. Obile of the Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, convicts and sentences Chibueze Okenwa, a fake United States American military officer, to 2 years imprisonment for impersonation, contrary to Section 22B of the Cybercrime Prohibition Prevention Act 2015. Initially arraigned on March 4, 2021 by the Court Zonal Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and pleaded not guilty to one count charge bordering on impersonation with intent to gain monetary advantage for himself. At the resumed hearing of his case on March 18th, Okenwa opted to change his plea. He was rearraigned and pleaded guilty to the one count charge. In view of his plea of guilty, prosecution counsel M. Ibikute urged the court to convict him accordingly. However, defense counsel J.I. Owubokiri prayed the court to temper justice with mercy. Justice Obile convicts and sentenced Okenwa to 2 years imprisonment with an option of fine of 350,000 naira. The judge also orders that the phone used to commit the crime be forfeited to the federal government through disposal by public unction and the proceeds paid to the Treasury Single Account TSA of the federal government. The people of Ekpeye land are still recounting their losses after the 24th of February following a fire outbreak in Okogbe Clan, Okodua Kingdom in Ahoda West local government area that engulfed their farmland and their forest reserve. The Ada of Ekpeye Logo, Dr. Patricia Wadiga, told journalists in an interview that Shell Petroleum Development Corporation have been queried following their absence from a meeting scheduled with relevant stakeholders. Dr. Patricia, who regrets the impact of the fire incident on their farmland, calling for justice, adding that the ecosystem of Ekpeye people have been impacted negatively due to the fire outbreak, and further called for remediation from SPDC. The representative of the Communication Department of the Shell Petroleum Development Corporation Port Harcourt, Mr. Michael Adande, says they have engaged their technical colleagues to cover the area in question but do not have a good record of the incident described. He called for more details that would help them respond quickly and work quickly to give appropriate response. The Niger Delta University matriculates its first set of postgraduate students in marine surveying. The ceremony, which was both visual and physical, had 68 students at the maiden edition. Addressing the students in his keynote speech, the Executive Secretary, Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Simbi Wabote, emphasizes need for improved efficiency in maritime operations in Nigeria to improve global competitiveness. He hints that improved predictability and transparency in maritime operations will go a long way in boosting confidence in the sector, which will in turn bring about increased revenue. Wabote advises other students to brace up and be passionate as they go through academics and training. Also speaking, the President's Center for Marine Surveyors Nigeria, Prince Adebambo Ademilui, says the NCDMB decides to sponsor the training of the students because of the critical role marine surveyors play in the industry. The Bayelsa State Police Command has finally opened up on the death of a youth allegedly shot by a police officer at Ovum Community, Yenagoa, the state capital. This is following the state governor, Senator Doye Diri's order for a full-scale investigation into the circumstances surrounding the alleged killing of the boy. It was gathered that a policeman allegedly shot and killed a minor in Ovum, a suburb of Yenagoa. But the police command, in a statement signed by its public relations officer, SP Asinim Boswat, says the deceased, in a bid to escape from police arrest, jumped from a ceiling and sustained a deep cut that led to his death. It further added that the State Commissioner of Police, Mike Okoli, appealed for calm and has ordered for full-scale investigation to unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of the suspect. Governor Diri also directed that an autopsy be carried out to determine the cause of death. The governor gave the directive through a statement by his chief press secretary, Mr. Daniel Alabra, after being briefed in Uyo, where he is attending a state cabinet retreat. The governor says he will be uncovered and brought to book. Governor Diri also sympathizes with the family of the deceased as well as the community, urging them to be calm and maintain the peace while a thorough investigation is being carried out. We go on a short break right now. Stay with us. Thanks for joining us again. Follow us on Twitter at EveAfrique News, on Instagram at EveAfriqueNG, and on Facebook it's EveAfrique Business and News. Preparation is already underway as High Chief Government Owezide Ekpemupolu, popularly known as Tom Polo, to lead teaming Ijaw sons and daughters across the nation to worship at this year's Bini Ebi Madinobu Annual Festival. In a statement on Monday, the Bini Carriway of Ogulaga Kingdom, Chief John Diegbega, says the three-day event is scheduled to hold between March 29th to the 31st of March 2021 at the Bini Ebi Madinobu Temple in Ogulaga Community, Burutu, local government area of Delta State. Tom Polo, who was the leader of the defunct Movement for the Emancipation of Niger Delta, MEND, is now a World Peace Ambassador and the High Chief Priest of the deity called Egbesu, which is the Ijaw god of world justice. The spiritual celebration would have Tom Polo as both Chief Priest and Spiritual Director. The Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and former Governor of Bayelsa State, His Excellency Timi Pri Silva, congratulates the newly crowned paramount ruler of Ikibiri community, His Royal Highness Chief Maurice Lagos, Silva, who was represented by his special assistant on media and public affairs Julius Bokuru, at the coronation wished a long, prosperous reign for the paramount ruler and the community. His Majesty King Bubaraye Dakolo, King of Ekpetiama clan, called for inclusiveness in the scheme of things. In a parade of drums and colors, youths and women of Ikibiri affirmed their appreciation to Silva for building all international roads in the community as governor and appointing the son of Ikibiri as special assistant on media. The governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doyediri, has lauded the Victims Support Fund, VSF, for the execution of projects in selected schools in the state. The governor made the commendation in Yenagoa on Tuesday when he received representative of the VSF. He described the project as timely and a welcome development, noting that Nigeria needed such initiative to move the country forward. A statement by his spokesman, Mr. Daniel Alabra, quoted the governor as saying that Bayelsa was not as rich as being perceived and would therefore need the support of agencies like the VSF to meet its developmental needs. The governor commended former President Goodluck Jonathan for setting up the VSF and expressed delight that it has been sustained and is meeting the needs of the ordinary Nigerians. Up next is sports. Stay with us. Nigerian red-hot forward Kelechi Iheanacho has arrived at the camp of the Super Eagles ahead of the final round of the African Cup of Nations AFCON qualifiers against Benin Republic and Lesotho. The arrival of Iheanacho, whose brace at the weekend sent Manchester United packing from the FA Cup, was confirmed in a tweet by the team's verified Twitter handle. Iheanacho's arrival at the Echo Hotel and Towers, Victoria Island, Lagos, where the three-time African champions are lodged ahead of the big duels, thus completes the 24-man list put out earlier by coach Gernot Rohr, with Anayo Iwala of Eimba replacing Almeria's Umar Sadiq, who couldn't make the team. Nigeria will trade tackle with the Squirrels of Benin Republic at the Stade Charles de Gaulle in Port Novo on Saturday, the weekend, and take on Crocodiles of Lesotho at the Taslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos, 3 days later. This will mark the first time in 10 years the Super Eagles will return to Nigeria's commercial city. Nigeria top Group L with 8 points, followed by Benin Republic with 7 points and Sierra Leone with 3 points, leaving Lesotho bottom of the group with 2 points. Week 11 results from the Nigerian Women Football League, NWFL. Abia Angels and FC Robos shared the spoils 1-1. Oshu Babes and Delta Queens played a 1-1 draw. Rivers Angels and Sunshine Queens, a goalless match, it ended. Conference Queens lost 1-0 to Pelican Stars. Bayelsa Queens trounced the Royal Queens 3-1. Dreamstar Ladies played a goalless match against Nasarawa Amazons. And Edo Queens lost 1-0 to Ibom Angels. Port Harcourt comes alive this weekend, 27th day in the month of March, with Burna Boy's homecoming concert and reception. Performing live Team Maya, Duncan Mighty, Omar Lay, Nisi, and others. Special appearance, Grammy Award winner Burna Boy Damini. Time is 4 p.m. Venue, EUI Event Center, Sani Abacha Road, GRA, Port Harcourt. Powered by the River State Government. The difference between fashion and art is that fashion is art in movement. This is what the Port Harcourt female designers brought to us in their fashion and art show. The city was agog as the Port Harcourt female fashion designers, after their inauguration week few months back, gave the city an eye-catching showcase. It was a display of elegance on the runway where design ideas were exchanged and new ones birthed. And it was also an avenue to improve the commercial and economic relevance of the fashion industry in Port Harcourt. The Fashion and Art exhibition was put together by the Female Designers Association with the intention to create more awareness and to bridge the gap between fashion lovers, designers, and models. It was an evening of glitz and glam. In a special report, Helen Prest Ajayi, a Nigerian lawyer, writer, and former beauty queen, was born on the 17th of September 1959. Recently appointed a non-executive director of Bank Nevis International Trust Services Limited, Bonates with offices in the Eastern Caribbean off the coast of Mexico and Venezuela, Dubai, West Africa, and East Africa, with affiliation to Bank of Nevis International Incorporation, specializing in global migration investment with a mission to enable individuals invest impactfully and provide accession protection. Bonates offers citizenship by investment, trust services, and company formation services. Raised in England, she attended the International School Ibadan and Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, for her undergraduate studies in law prior to her pageantry. After she was crowned Miss Nigeria at the age of 19 in 1979, she represented Nigeria at the Miss World pageant and furthered her education at King's College London, earning her an LLM. Helen Prest Ajayi is the granddaughter of Nigerian politician Otto Prest and daughter of politician Chief Michael Godwin Prest. Helen Prest Ajayi stopped practicing law after a while and became an active columnist in the 1990s, a businesswoman and lifestyle expert. As a literary advocate, she has authored many books, including the recently published The Complete English Guide. She is a recipient of the Game Changer African Acknowledged 2020. Blessed with 3 daughters, she was recently bereaved of her husband, Dr. Tosi Ajayi, in 2020. Born to a Delta father and Rivers mom, Helen Prest Ajayi can be referred to as an authentic Port Harcourt girl. That's it on Southern Times on EveAfrique News from the depths of Niger Delta. I am Omotola Agbelusi. Do follow us on our Twitter handles at EveAfrique News, on Instagram at EveAfriqueNG, and on Facebook it's EveAfrique News, Business and News. Coronavirus is a deadly disease. Shun large gatherings, use a face mask, stay healthy, and stay alive. Thank you. See you same time next week.